You've watered carefully, picked the sunniest spot, even whispered encouragement to your plants, and they still die in the pot. It's not your watering. There's something hidden inside the soil that's sabotaging every good habit you formed. In this video, we'll uncover the 4 silent stages of soil failure and the simple, science-backed changes that stop it for good. You'll learn exactly how soil structure breaks down, what ingredients restore oxygen flow, and how to rebuild your mix so roots can finally breathe. Let's start where most potting disasters begin, inside the soil itself. Have you ever noticed your pot feels heavy long after watering, even when the top looks bone dry? That weight isn't moisture your plant can use, it's trapped water collecting beneath the surface, sealed in by compacted soil. Most commercial potting mixes rely on fine materials, like peat moss, that gradually collapse as they decompose. Over time, air pockets close, pore space shrinks, and the soil becomes a dense mat that traps water and suffocates roots. As oxygen disappears, the microbes that help plants absorb nutrients fade, leaving the soil biologically tired and lifeless. Then comes the common mistake, adding gravel or rocks to the bottom of the pot. It seems logical, but this drainage fix actually makes things worse. Water doesn't easily move from fine soil into coarser material. Instead, it clings to the smaller particles until they're saturated, forming a constant layer of moisture just above the gravel. This layer is known as the perched water table, a zone that stays saturated no matter how many holes your container has. By adding gravel, you don't remove this zone, you raise it closer to the roots, shrinking the usable soil volume and making air exchange even harder. What many gardeners don't realize is that every container has a perched water table, even without gravel at the bottom. It forms because gravity and capillary action balance each other out at a certain depth, trapping water that simply won't drain farther. The size of this soggy layer stays consistent regardless of pot shape or height. Beneath it, healthy roots can't survive. Oxygen disappears, anaerobic bacteria take over, and soon the soil releases that sour, swampy smell signaling decay is underway. And that lingering sogginess is more than just a nuisance. It's the first step toward the silent killer that destroys countless houseplants. When the soil becomes saturated and airless, another danger begins quietly beneath the surface, the root rot death trap. This disease takes hold when roots are cut off from oxygen for too long. Without oxygen, the roots can't perform cellular respiration, the process that fuels their growth and keeps the plant alive. Energy production grinds to a halt, tissues weaken, and decay moves in. The soil shifts from a healthy, balanced system into an anaerobic zone that invites bacteria and fungi to feed on dying roots. The first signs often look confusing. Leaves droop even though the soil feels damp. Growth slows, colors fade, and the foliage may yellow or redden as nutrients stop moving upward. Sometimes there's a faint, unpleasant smell rising from the pot, like sulfur or rotten eggs. That odor signals anaerobic bacteria breaking down root tissue and releasing gases trapped in the compacted mix. When the plant is lifted from its container, the damage is impossible to miss. Healthy roots are firm, white, and slightly crisp. Rotting ones appear brown or black, soft and slimy. Press them lightly, and they collapse. Often the outer layer peels off easily, leaving a thin inner thread behind. Research confirms that suffocated roots quickly become food for decay-causing organisms, and once infection spreads, recovery is rare without intervention. The biggest mistake is misreading the symptoms as thirst. Many gardeners water more, deepening the problem by forcing out what little oxygen remains in the soil. Each extra watering accelerates the cycle of suffocation and decay. Learning to recognize the first signs of saturation makes all the difference, because stopping rot before it starts doesn't depend on adding more water, but on creating soil that breathes. And that's where understanding the right mix becomes essential. To turn exhausted soil back into a living medium, you need a mix that breathes and drains freely. The key isn't a strict formula but a balance of 3 things: a nutrient-rich base, a coarse amendment to keep air flowing, and an organic component that supports structure and life in the pot. Adding materials like perlite or pumice keeps pore spaces open, while ingredients such as coarse bark, coco coir, or compost help retain gentle moisture without suffocating the roots. Together, these materials create soil that feels light in your hands, yet holds enough water for steady growth. Each one contributes, some to feed, some to aerate, and some to stabilize the structure so water moves efficiently from top to bottom. Store-bought soils tend to rely heavily on peat moss, which compacts as it decomposes. Within a year or two, once fluffy soil becomes a dense mat that locks in water and shuts out oxygen. By combining materials of different particle sizes, you prevent that collapse. The resulting diversity maintains air pockets that allow gas exchange, oxygen in and carbon dioxide out, so roots stay firm, white, and capable of steady nutrient absorption. What truly keeps soil healthy is biological activity. Beneficial microbes in compost and vermicompost help recycle organic matter into forms your plant can absorb, while also protecting roots from disease-causing organisms. These microbes thrive in mixes that stay moist but never saturated, turning an inert medium into a self-regulating environment. For an eco-friendly option, replace peat with compost or biochar. Compost provides nutrients and living organisms. Biochar improves structure and moisture control while reducing environmental impact from peat extraction. With the right blend, the soil becomes a balanced ecosystem where air, water, and biology work together. Over time, though, even the best mix breaks down, and knowing when to refresh it is what keeps your plants thriving. Knowing when and how to repot is one of the simplest ways to keep your plants healthy. The repotting hack is all about timing and technique, recognizing the signs your plant has outgrown its container and giving its roots a fresh start in breathable soil. Look for clues rather than the calendar: roots pushing through drainage holes, circling the inside of the pot, water running straight through without soaking in, or the plant itself sitting lower in the container. These are signals that the soil structure has collapsed and the roots are struggling for space and air. Moving a plant to a larger pot might seem like an instant fix, but it doesn't help if the old compacted soil stays wrapped around the root ball. Think of it as carrying the same problem into a bigger space. The correct approach is to ease the plant out, gently shake or brush away much of the old soil, and loosen the roots with your fingers. If the roots are densely matted, make a few vertical slices along the sides using clean shears to encourage new growth outward. This breaks the circular root pattern that chokes future development. While repotting, trim away any roots that are dark, soft, or mushy. Healthy ones will be firm and white. If the root ball feels dry or hard, soak it briefly in water to help the roots rehydrate before planting. Always use fresh, well-draining soil in the new pot, ideally 1 or 2 sizes wider than the root mass. Spread the roots evenly, fill in around them without packing the mix too tightly, and water thoroughly to settle everything into place. Repotting restores the foundation your plant depends on: oxygen, structure, and space. Once that environment is open again, real growth can begin from the roots up. Strong soil care is what truly sustains your plants over time. Healthy plants don't start with watering habits, they start with breathing soil that lets oxygen reach the roots. Once that foundation is stable, growth, color, and strength follow naturally. Every successful container garden runs through a simple, predictable cycle. Prevent compaction before it chokes roots, avoid root rot by keeping the mix open, and refresh the soil before it breaks down. Following these steps not only keeps your plants thriving, but also supports sustainable gardening, using fewer resources while building living soil that lasts. Apply these principles, watch your pots come alive again, and then move on to the watering video next. It's the second half of keeping your container garden truly balanced. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep growing and keep it green.